Hey, what's up, guys? So I'm just hanging out here in my little makeshift office at home, and I wanted to, I haven't really dove too deep into what this really means. So we started this podcast here, I don't know, maybe 3 months ago, 4 months ago at this point, and we were looking for a name for it. I bounced some ideas back and forth with my team and asked them their opinion on what they thought we should call it, and so what we didn't come up with this name. This has been floating around our businesses for since we've opened, and this is something that I've tried to teach over the years to new hires, and definitely try to make it the way our staff understands that we operate our business. So, and I think it goes a little bit beyond. So we call this podcast the Fire Audio Experience. And fire, because obviously it is what it says it is, man. If you've met someone that's on fire in their life personally, you know that they're going out attacking the world, trying to get things done for themselves and the people that are most important to them. Fire actually is an acronym. Is that right? An acronym, an abbreviation? I don't know, whatever one of those two things are for some four key areas that I think are extremely important, especially when you're trying to build a business. And then again, I think this is applicable just throughout life in general. So it isn't necessarily in order, but rife or arif doesn't sound as cool as fire. So I'll get you some close-ups of this card here, but this is it. So let's see if you can get that fire. Follow-up, information, relationships, and empathy. And I actually got a box of these cards here. So I got about 1,000 of them so made when we first opened. It does say on here belief, faith, confidence, integrity. So let's break this down a little bit. Everything that we do, no matter if it's in our personal life, if it's within the community, if it's with a sibling, a parent, a manager, a business owner, an employee, a customer, does not matter. But every single one of those relationships have to be built on empathy. And again, if anyone's ever worked for me, they've heard this and had this pounded in their heads from day one, because it's the most important. And this is probably one of the singularly most important things that we try to lead with, which is empathy. And so if you think about it, on this side of the spectrum, you've got apathy. Now, apathy is just a general laziness and no one gives a crap, right? On the other end of that spectrum, we've got sympathy. So empathy is right smack dab in the middle. And empathy, for me, in the way I define it and the way we try to make it come to life in our businesses is, let's say it's an employee, for example, and an employee shows up late. Well, if we can be sympathetic to that and say, oh yeah, I know, I've had flat tires, I've had this, I've had that too. It's all right, right? It's okay. I feel so bad for you that happened. Apathy, on the other hand of that, would be, you were supposed to be here, you weren't here. If you do it again, you're fired, right? That's hopefully a good example, right? Pretty understandable. Empathy is right there in the middle again, where it's okay. Let me bring in whatever the facts are that you're telling me, but let's still recognize that you have a responsibility to meet. And I believe a couple things, that we've been fortunate to build such a great team so far, and will continue to in the future, because we use empathy as our lens, as our filter for everything that comes through. Because believe me, we've had problems at that store. We've had problems in both businesses. And I'm talking problems like obviously I can't even tell you, some of the issues that have occurred that, had we used apathy or sympathy, we would have been absolutely beat down from. We use empathy, and I think people really enjoy having an empathetic place to go in their life. So empathy is number one on this for fire. That's really the starting point for the R in it, which is relationships, right? All relationships are built off of empathy. There's a little bit more to the relationship. I've asked people this question, and I'll ask you, I'll give you the answer though, unfortunately too. What percentage of the relationship do you have responsibility for? So if it's you and another person, what is it? Is it 50-50, 60-40, 70-30, right? And those are typically the answers I would get, especially if the first time someone's hearing this from me. And again, these are typically conversations we'd have with an employee. It's 100%. I mean, that status of that relationship, if it's good, bad, indifferent, destructive, the best ever, you are 100% responsible for what you can control. Now, that doesn't mean you just let people walk all over you. That doesn't mean that you just take whatever it is and roll with it. No, you got to have some standards for yourself, but you're 100% responsible for that. And once you internalize, and this isn't me running out to the world talking about I'm 100% responsible for my relationships. That's not how it rolls. What it really is when it's inside and you just take the responsibility for the way it is. I can repeat that 1,000 times, but there's no more way to dumb that down than just that. So you're 100% responsible. And so we take that 100% responsibility when it comes to whether it be my relationship with an employee of mine, relationship with my wife or my children, relationship with my customer, one-on-one, right? I'm 100% responsible. Now, and when you do that, man, you gain so much power back for yourself because you don't feel as if you are subjected only to the whims of others. When your relationship status is set on the whims of others, that's a pretty vulnerable, if I could talk, vulnerable position to be in. Because, man, people are just imperfect. I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. We make stupid, bonehead decisions in the moment. We're human beings. We can be selfish at times. There's no doubt about that. So, it's just 100%. 100%. Follow-up and information. Those two things are really, next steps in relationship in this FIRE belief system that we have. And we'll take, for example, at Premier, people come to us and we need to be experts at what we do. I mean, that's just no doubt about it. There's no, I don't know. Just had this conversation the other day. I asked an employee, say, hey, what's up with this TV or that TV or whatever. Give me just a sec. And they said, I think it's this. And I said, well, do you think or do you know? Because those are two completely different things. Thinking and knowing are two completely different things. So they went and they found the answer and then they knew, right? So being a student is really what that information piece is about. And a student of whatever topic is necessary that you are required to be an expert in. And so for us, that's, TVs, rental purchase agreements, how to set up showrooms, how to display, why we price the way we do, how we manage the accounts, service items. I go on for days. For Mr. Appliance, I'm rocking a day. That's going to be how to order parts in the most efficient way for the customer. For us, that's going to be obviously being an expert appliance tech and actually knowing what we're talking about, not just wild ass guessing it away. So being an expert of this whole I don't know, that's just got to go because we have a saying, and again, people that have worked for me before have heard this: we don't get paid to think, we get paid to know. And so we just got to be experts. And then follow up. This is really, if there was a number 2 on this list for FIRE and what it means to us and why I know. I'm not even going to sugarcoat this. I know that this is the reason why we have the success that we do in both of our businesses. Why we're helping people build healthy relationships in their lives. We have healthy relationships with most of our customers. And let me just touch on that real quick. That if we don't have a healthy relationship with our customer, guess whose fault that is? It's ours. It's not theirs. We haven't been able to get through to the point where we do have that, and so that's our bad, and we're going to work to fix it. Follow-up is simple, man. It's just doing what you say you're going to do. So many times in the course of interacting with a business that's on there's some consistency of interaction. There is balls get dropped, man. We only have one life here. All we at the end of the day sometimes have is our handshake and our name. And I will tell you something. If you see me put together a display on our showroom floor, we'll just take for an example, that has my name on it, right? Who set this up? Chad set it up. Okay. Well, this is a representation, at least in this metaphorically driven situation, of Chad Fosdick. So for me, I want that to speak volumes, and I want them to be good volumes, because I have put my hands on things and done things as a young man, a dumb young man, and they spoke volumes, but were not good volumes. And so, if I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to work my face off to make it come through, and I'm going to do it hard. I'm going to go, and that's our job. That's all it is just making sure we do what we say we're going to do. So, there's more on the back here. This part right here, this fire, is a part of our pyramid of success that we have down at the store. Use it to try to manage our business in a way that measures the right things for ourselves and for our customers. So then this backside here is the remainder of what we call the foundation. And we'll go through this a little bit more in depth. We got financial literacy, be the source of the pressure, operational excellence, and family and community. So just thought I'd break it down a little bit. I haven't had a chance to really sit down and talk with you about why it's called the Fire Audio Experience. I've heard years ago, this gentleman in a business article I was reading said that he metaphorically tries to lean forward with his head on fire. And, if you visualize that, man, this guy is hitting the world hard and trying to make a difference for everybody involved. So, as always, thank you for watching. It means a ton to me that you would even take 1 second to watch this video. We're really working on some big things. Again, I can't mention it too much or too often, but we're starting a show for North Platte, here in North Platte, and it's going to be amazing. We are going to work our tails off to make sure that we're bringing massive value. If this video brought you any value at all, or if you'd like to talk a little bit more about fire and what it means, and I really think anyone could take and run with this thing. I got about 1,000 or so of these cards. I'll absolutely give these to you if you hit me up in the comments. Obviously, you can catch me down at the store most anytime, except for right now, because I'm hanging out in my little makeshift office here. Hanging out with my, look at that guy, Spartan, baby. There's a story behind that as well, but that'll be for another day. So, as always, thank you for your time and attention. Again, hit me up in the comments, message me here on this page, and like it up. Tag someone you think needs to hear this, see this, want to talk about this, and I'll be here if you need anything. Talk to you soon.